In this video tutorial, I'm going to give you a basic overview of the tools that are available in Pro Tools. We'll start with the basic transport tools. We have a play and we have a stop. We also have the record button for when we're recording audio. We have a fast forward and rewind, and then a go to start and go to end. These are also duplicated up here if we haven't got the transport panel in view. The editing tools are up on the top over on the left hand side, along with the grid values. Let's look at the tools first. We have a magnifying tool which allows us to click on a piece of audio, and if we hold the Alt key it allows us to zoom back out. We have a trim tool. This allows us to go to the start or end of a region or a piece of audio and simply click and drag to resize. If we hold the Alt key down, it will flip to the other end. Next we have a select tool. This allows us to place the cursor at various points on our region. If we double click, we can select that entire region. We have a grab tool. This simply allows us to pick up the audio and move it somewhere else in the project. If we want to copy a piece of audio, we can hold the Alt key and click and drag and copy it as so. Next we have an audition button. This allows us to click and listen to what we have recorded.
1, 2, yes, no.
So this corresponds with the mouse movement. So we click and drag the mouse.
1, no.
And then we have a pencil tool. This allows us to draw things should we need to. It's mostly used when we're using automation or MIDI notes. Some of the tools have a drop-down arrow. For example, the object grab tool. This allows us to do things like separation and object on object. Depending on how we use these tools, we'll do different things. For now, I'm just going to keep them to the basic setup. Pro Tools also has a smart tool. A smart tool essentially joins the grab tool, the select tool, and the trim tool. And this panel that goes around these is what we need to click to indicate this is on. Now the smart tool behaves depending on where we position the mouse. So I'm going to zoom in on this one. In the lower half of the region, we have the grab tool. In the upper half, we have the select tool, and if we go to the ends, we have the trim tool. So this is often a quicker way of navigating and editing audio as and when we need to edit it. So let's have a listen to what we've got recorded so far. This is just me counting 1 through to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So let's trim the beginning. We can trim up to the beginning there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1.
We can trim the end. And we can even take middle sections and simply highlight and delete. We can move them around.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now you can hear
1,
the last
2, 3, 4, 5
are having slightly cut off. So let's look at why that is. Let's move these slightly further afield. Now currently the grid mode is set to every quaver beat, every quarter. We can make that adjustment up here in the drop down menu. So I could set that to something like 16th, and that would allow me to drag the audio back out and catch the beginning. But as you can see, if we zoom in, there's still a bit of silence. So maybe we could use 32. And that's getting us close. Another way of doing this is to simply turn the grid off, and we do this by selecting the slit mode. This gives us free placement of anywhere in the project that we can drag and edit our audio to. Once we have that selected, we might go back to the grid and we might set it back to quarters. Now what will happen is when we move our audio, it will snap the very beginning to the quavers.
5, 5.
By holding Shift and clicking, you can select multiple audio regions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And clicking off deselects them. We can reorder these.
Five, 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, 1, 4, 3.
And we can make any necessary adjustments that we feel this audio would benefit from. We can zoom in and edit the ends. And we can position the audio even in slit mode if we so require. We can overlap pieces of audio.
Five, 2, 1, 4, 3.
But notice that if we use the trim tool, all the audio that was previously there is still retained. So if we find number 1,
5, 5, 2, 1, 1.
So this is our number 1 region. So I'm going to remove everything apart from that. And then simply expand it at the beginning and at the end. And we have our original recording back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.